Hi everyone of the sign of Aries. So I am here today to give you the message for April 2025. I'm going to just pull out three of these oracle decks and then we'll go from there. All right. I hope you enjoy. Let's see. Okay. So the first thing we have is the quill, and the quill says get back to basics. Whenever I get that card, I can tell you for sure that it's going to be something where everything starts to like fall apart and not go the way that you want it to go. And then you have to like go backwards and see where you started everything and kind of like come back to how it is that you can make it fix. The second thing I have is June. And the third thing we have is Arrow, which says you are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. So as I'm looking at this combination, I can tell you like for sure I'm feeling this energy that you're going to have to go back to basics. So something fell through. Whatever it was, Aries, something fell through. And when it fell through, you are now having to go back to the drawing board, start from zero, see how you can adjust things. And I do see that you're going to start moving in a direction that's going to actually get you back in the momentum that you were in before. But I don't see it kind of happening until around June. So like from now to like around June, it's kind of like fixing everything and coming back into alignment. Okay. So let's get more information on that with the tarot, and then we're going to look into how the full moon and the new moon are going to be influencing you. Okay. So tell me about this. Ooh, I done told you. The first thing we see is the Devil card. That, and you see how there's stairways to the ear. I really like the fact that the reason why I use so many basic tarot decks is because the imagery is different. And then they tell me which one I should pick for you guys. And in this case, it feels like somebody got in your ear. Okay. And this could have been last year. This could have been last year. I don't know. It seems like this happened like in the summer of last year, where somebody got in your ear, they gave you like an idea, or they gave you some insight or something. It was like an earworm, and it was actually hindering you because it was actually playing on your desires. And usually, our desires are made by subconscious belief systems or wounds or whatever. So then, I have this card that we're going to be using these cards later, but this card from this deck, and I keep seeing it. Let me find it real quick just so, because I feel like it's important to show it to you. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I found it. It's called Distorted Desire. And it says it's number 15, which is again the Devil card. And this is so weird, the consistency. And then it says conscious desires rarely satisfy the unconscious need driving it. Okay, conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. And do you see how she's like running away from actually the light? She's going in the wrong direction. And this card, when I looked for it, the card right after it was this card that said wisdom and play. And it's like somebody blinded and they're pouring one cup into the other. That reminds me of the temperance card. I feel this was on purpose, like your distorted desires, your wrong way, your like, I want to say misdirection was on purpose, because it's trying to call to the forefront the subconscious belief systems you have about yourself, about a situation around you, about the people around you, that it's actually based on a wound or based on some kind of belief system that you have that no longer serves you. And you were led down this rabbit hole, and it messed up a whole mess of shit in your life, mostly because you were supposed to wake up to something, Aries. So that is super interesting. Okay. Let's see. Six of Cups. And Six of Cups legit means the past. Okay? And that goes to the 10 of Cups. See, and as I'm looking at this first row, all I keep hearing is there was something you always wish for. Let's say, like, growing up, you always wish that your um some group of your family members would accept you and love you for who you are, right? And then you're going your entire life trying to prove yourself to these fools to show them that you're supposed to be loved, or they should value you for the person that you are. And then all of a sudden, you go down this rabbit hole, you do all these things that you freaking hate, but you're doing it because you're trying to prove yourself, because you're trying to prove to them that you're worth it. And then finally, after going down this wrong road for freaking ever, you get to this point where you're like, I hate this life. I hate this situation. And then you take this like 360 turn. During this path of the 360 turn, every one of us is in a different path of that, okay? But right here, it feels like the 360 turn is going to take place now. For some of you, you guys have already started this path, but this 360 turn kind of has you doing something completely different than what you grew up knowing, what you grew up being, all that kind of stuff. You just kind of like are like, whatever, I don't care if people criticize me or talk shit about me or whatever. I am going to try this because for some reason I feel like I need to do it. And then as you start going there, it becomes like a path of discovery. And as you start discovering more about yourself, and as you start moving forward in your plan and all this kind of stuff, you start becoming whole. The thing is, and this is something that I can tell you for 100% sure because it's happened to me, then you become you and you no longer need them. Then they come offering you that cup of love, all this love and attention and whatever, because this is what happened. Okay. They start offering that cup of love to you because they're now see the worth and value of you. And because you desired it before, you accepted it. And then you paid the price for accepting it, right? Because you realized that the things they said that they were going to do, the things that they said that they were going to change in, and the way that they were pretending to be like you with your same belief systems or whatever, totally not that. They went right back to the person they were that caused the problems to begin with. And then all of a sudden now you're in this belief system of, you know what? I thank you that you want to offer me something, that cup of love that I've been waiting for forever, but I just, like, I don't want you anymore. Now I'm hearing that song from Cher where she goes, I don't need you anymore. I don't know why I'm hearing that. Hold on. We have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, I do feel like you guys are still in the getting out of it, or realizing that this was a stupid trap that you wanted before, but you don't want it anymore. Then we have the Four of Swords. If you want any cards to tell you that you are bound or stuck in a situation that is not for your greatest good, that's the Eight of Swords and the Four of Swords together, because that's literally not even knowing that you're trapped and not even knowing that you're asleep, right? And that you don't know like the mess that is around you. And then we get the Magician, and it's upside down. The Magician upside down means that you don't have the tools or resources to be able to get out of a situation yet. And it was false love that put you in this situation to begin with. Now, if we were thinking more along the lines of esoteric, if we're not thinking normal Yo Schmo from the street, and we're talking about a spiritual person, which I think a lot of the people that connect to my channel are, I would say it's you agreed to something with somebody, not realizing that you were entering an unholy covenant with something, and now you're completely blind of the fact that you're bound and stuck, and like there's no way to reverse the magic in the position you're in right now. In the bottom of the deck, we have, you see, I saw the Temperance card, which is something working in your favor. Temperance. Okay, so we have Temperance, Death card, Five of Wands. The way to change the situation literally means that you're going to have to change what you want, change your desires, change the direction that you want for your life. And the version of you that wanted this person, place, thing, or energy, and then fight for yourself. Like I'm looking at here, Aries is preparing themselves for a massive spiritual fight or a massive physical fight. And this can, when I'm saying physical fight, that doesn't mean you're going to actually get to the punches, but this can be like, let's say it's a job and you signed the contract because you thought you really wanted it your entire life. Ever since you were a child, you always thought that this was going to be what you were going to be when you grew up, blah, blah, blah. Home and society, you signed this contract. You were happy-go-lucky, not knowing that you bound yourself to that place. And now you are trapped in a cycle and without a way to get out of it. And then they're telling you, to get out of it, you're going to have to completely change your vocation, change your career, change everything. Kind of like just let everything that you had established die, and then fight tooth and nail to get the education you need to move forward, apply for new jobs, and then get the frick out. But it's not going to be in the career that you thought you were going to be when you grew up, because that actually tied you down. That's just an example so that you guys can kind of fit it into your lives. But this legit feels like you entered into an unholy covenant. Is if I was talking spiritually, like, a contract with the devil. And to get out, you're going to have to literally alchemize yourself, turn lead into gold. That means change everything that you are, everything that you believe in, and start fighting tooth and nail to release yourself from this attachment. This, if it was spiritual, is bad. If it is physical, is bad. This can even be like, let's say, a very toxic, unhealthy marriage where you're married to a narcissist. You believe their lies, you believe their stuff, you believe their false love, and you're not even aware of the fact that you are trapped in this relationship, and you are under like this spell of the narcissist. Because I really do believe narcissists have the ability to put people in spells and trances, because I honestly think that narcissists have a lot of demonic energy inside of them. So they have a way of putting people in trances. And then it's like, now you have to balance out your own scales internally, because if you got attached to this relationship with this narcissist, you had wounds that this narcissist was healing. Maybe abandonment wounds, not having a dad, not having a stable home or whatever. And so this person supplied that for you. And then it's having to heal that wound inside of yourself so that you don't need that person anymore, so that you can move forward. But this is like the fight of your life kind of energy. It's heavy. I see it in April, but it feels like this evolution of this goes all the way through June, which is really interesting, because I did tell you guys that there was a portal in March, right? It was practically the whole freaking month of March. It was a huge portal. And I told you that you were faced with a decision to have to be like the one in charge. You have to take on ownership for something, but it involves a lot of opening your heart space. And if you don't do it, that the summer was going to be very difficult for you. And it was going to like go into the cycle of difficulty until you hit September, where we're going to have another portal. And it's going to be another, like, you're going to be faced with the same energy of, should I stay or should I go? The one that you were feeling during March. I think you're going to finally figure out that you're actually trapped in a cage, a golden cage, not knowing that you're in it, right? This one feels pretty heavy. This one's a hard, heavy message. But not all messages are butterflies and rainbows. So that being said, let's talk about I read it. I wrote it down. That's why I keep looking backwards. Let's talk about the full moon. The full moon will be from the 13th going to the 14th. From the 12th going to the 13th, from the 12th going to the 13th, it will be a pink moon. It will be a micro moon. What does that mean? That means that the moon's going to look small because it's farther away from Earth, and it's going to be in the sign of Libra. And so I feel like that moon might be triggering like the temperance energy, the scales, the desire to balance things out. So let's see what that's going to bring. Whoa. I am not kidding you. Look at that. This doesn't matter, but this turned over, so I'm going to take these. Look at what I have here. The first thing that I have is trusting a trickster. I done told you. Oh my God, this is so crazy. I do believe that like you're stuck in a narcissistic a narcissist empath relationship without even freaking knowing. Okay. And it says, the trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. And see how I told you I felt like you guys were you were bound, you were entangled. It feels like a quantum entanglement. It feels awful. And then here's another string. And so I do feel you're bound, okay? And then says number 22, women supporting women. Together we can transcend our individual limitations. And I feel like um you being bound, I just want to look something up. You being bound is not a just you thing. I think this is a generational curse on your family. Like you guys have a tendency of connecting to a narcissist, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or you're a female. If you're a male, you have a very narcissistic partner. If you're a female, you have a really narcissistic partner. But it's a trend in your family because this women supporting women really feels like it's the golden thread of life. It's like your lineage, your fate line. And you guys are fated to live this until somebody breaks this generational curse. Somebody's in a nasty generational curse. Anyways, 622 is on here. And I want to look that up. It says, harmony and balance are being brought to your personal relationship at this time. All obstacles to love are being cleared. And see, that's interesting that it's saying that love is being cleared. Things are balancing out because balance is temperance. And it's talking about bringing harmony and balance into your life. I'm going to tell you something. Harmony and balance doesn't come because it's super easy and butterflies and rainbows and the heavens open and God says, let there be light and everything is wonderful. No, usually harmony comes from destroying what was created in the distortion to create the new. So um, I'm feeling like harmony is coming, but the harmony is coming because the ability that the trickster had to trick you. Oh, look at this. I have to show you this because it's really freaking. This is the bottom of the deck. Wishful expectations. She is stuck in a karmic wheel. That is so crazy. Anyways, look at it says acknowledge, and this is number 14, which is the temperance card, which I told you is the way that you're going to get out of the situation. The synchronicities in this reading is freaking crazy. Right here it says, wishful expectation. Acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. Just smoke and mirrors. See, what I'm saying is that I feel like you're living like some kind of lie, and it's based on what you really, really, really wish that you had when you were a kid, right? It can be acceptance of a family. It can be that perfect partner. It can be a stable home for the family that you have. It can be that perfect job. It doesn't matter. All of us have different desires that we've had starting out when we were kids. And yeah, and I feel like this is going to be a wake-up call for you. And it feels like it's starting in April, but it's going to just keep going and going and going all the way through June. I can tell you that this feels like a spiritual upheaval, so you guys might feel a lot of negative repercussions from all that. I do energy healings. I even have distance healings. They're called quantum distance and rituals, healing rituals. Um, Consider a healing from someone. If you don't, if you want something more local, go to your local area. If not, there are those distant healings. Do something that will keep you in balance because it looks like you're heading into a period of like darkness, right? But it's so that you can get to the other side, so that you can get yourself free, so you're not stuck in this like negative pattern. I hope this helps you. We'll see you the next time.